What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and today we're reading another hilarious Yu-Gi-Oh article that I was able to find online. Today's article was actually someone's suggestion from Twitter, so thank you for sending it to me. I do want to mention here, as always, we are not making fun of the authors of these articles. Obviously, they are just casual players or ex-Yu-Gi-Oh players that enjoy the anime from time to time. These are not written by competitive players, and that's perfectly fine. However, it is fun to read these articles and see what people think about Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when they have not played in tournaments for quite a while. I will mention here, this is not the article we're reading, but I did find an alternative to that past article that we read. This one is 10 monster cards that look strong but are actually incredibly weak. This is one of the worst articles I have ever seen on Yu-Gi-Oh. The entire idea here is that the author is picking cards that look scary or have good effects but have bad stats. There are literally thousands upon thousands of monster cards that have bad stats but have great effects. There is no reason to make this article. We're not going to read through it, but this is like, I don't even understand this idea. It's like putting cards that look good or are good but have bad stats. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Not to mention several of the cards like Eclipse Wyvern and they have Wyvern Burster on here as well. They don't even have that bad of stats for being a level 4 monster. The actual article we're reading today, though, is the 10 most powerful dragon cards ranked. Now, obviously, there are tons of dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe even too many, so there are a lot of really powerful cards to choose from. We've seen all sorts of powerful dragon monsters throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. I'm not sure if I would put either of the two that they show in the preview here on my top 10 list. Definitely not FiveHeaded Dragon, maybe not Blue Eyes White Dragon compared to all the other good effect monsters, but I guess it's iconic, so I can understand why it's on this list. But we're going to take a look and see how accurate this list is. If you guys enjoy the Yu-Gi-Oh article content, this is the 4th episode of this new series, please make sure to subscribe and I'll make sure to make these videos more often. Sometimes the hardest part is just finding the articles that I want to read, so make sure to send me any on Twitter or even in the comment section if you like the name of them, if you guys find any funny articles so that I can check them out in future videos. Number 10, Blue Eyes White Dragon, probably one of the most well-known cards in all of the game. Blue Eyes White Dragon is the most powerful of the normal type dragons with 3000 attack and 2500 defense. This card is famously known to be a favorite of the original series Seto Kaiba and can be combined with others of its kind to form even more powerful dragon type monsters. I understand why this card is on this list. I would expect any casual player to put Blue Eyes on a top dragon list. If it's 5 cards or 10 cards or 20 cards or whatever, this card is just so iconic. In reality, though, is the card really deserving of being on a list like this? Personally, I probably would not include it unless I was including iconic cards just because they're well known, but this card has really not been as good as many of the other dragons have been in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. That being said, it's only at number 10 on the list here, so I guess I can forgive them for including it in this discussion. And then immediately, it just goes downhill. At number 9, we have Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. I have not read this entire list. It would be hilarious to see if all the entries were just Blue Eyes monsters. I guess we know FiveHeaded Dragon's on here, but yeah, no, this card sucks. We even talked about this card in the very last video, the one with like the weak looking monsters that are actually strong. This one was included in that list and I said it's really bad. I will say here, one thing that I found surprising on that last video that I made in the 3rd episode was that people really thought that the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon sort of engine in Exodia was a popular choice in good Exodia deck lists. I know that Deep Draw Exodia was one of the more popular variants of Exodia decks, but they never really saw a lot of competitive play. There are many people out there that believe that Exodia used to be a very viable strategy back in old school Yu-Gi-Oh, but that was never really the case. And if you want to learn more about that, as I mentioned in the pinned comment on that video, why nobody plays Exodia goes into the history of Exodia and where it's topped and where it maybe hasn't. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon is a feature of deep draw Exodia decks, but those decks have never really been very good. Obviously the card is terrible in Toon decks, of course, I think everyone knows that, but it never really saw competitive play even in Exodia decks either. At number 8 we have White Knight Dragon. Really, White Knight Dragon. I will say this card's artwork is insane, and also this is one of the only good tribute monsters in all of Battle Pack 2 format. Who really cares and who really judges cards by how good they are in Battle Pack? I guess just me, but yeah, White Knight Dragon is definitely not even in like the top probably 100 dragons or top 200 dragons. This card was a pricey secret rare if I remember correctly, but never saw competitive play at any point in any deck. What do they think this card is good for? Let's see. For one, oh, they're just talking about the effect. For one, if the White Knight Dragon is targeted by a spell or trap card, the action is negated and the card itself is destroyed. Should it be targeted by a face-up monster, you have the option to send a spell or trap card you control to the graveyard to redirect the attack to your White Knight Dragon. These conditions give you the freedom and flexibility to control the battlefield. Yeah, no, all that's not true. I mean, it's technically true in that that's what this card does, but the card itself really should never be included on a top dragon list because it's never been played competitively, and I would argue even casually the card is not very impressive. At number 7 we have Berserk Dragon, and I'm just like, I'm so confused because this was a card back in the day. I remember in middle school, people like pulled this card but didn't own a deal with Dark Rulers, so no one knew how to summon this card, but it looked so cool and it had 3,500 attack points. Everyone thought it was super broken. That being said, the card is terrible. I mean, also it's not even a dragon type monster, and they say that in the article. They're like, oh, it's not a dragon type, but it says dragon in the name. But oh my gosh though, this card is horrible. Why is this on this list? I know it looks cool and I know it has a lot of attack points, but I mean, this card is just awful. Suddenly I am so afraid about the other entries on this list. We haven't even seen like a lot of the older school dragon cards that actually were good. Cards like obviously Chaos Emperor Dragon, which I'm assuming will be on the list, Judgment Dragon, Light and Darkness Dragon, Stardust Dragon. Even if you hadn't played Yu-Gi-Oh for the past like 10 years, there are still plenty of other great dragon monsters that could be included on this list, and we really haven't seen any of them so far. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. Really, we're gonna include this card. One of the biggest reasons that I hate this card being on this list is that it means that the author actually does know about more modern releases. This card is not super old, and that tells me that there should be like more modern dragon monsters. You know, all of the recent big dragon link monsters, or like Borreload Savage Dragon, all of those cards should be fair game if this card is on the list. At number 5 we have Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon. Of all of the Venom Fusion monsters to put in this list, you chose one of the only ones that hasn't seen play. You didn't choose the banned one, you didn't choose the one that has been used for Super Poly. I think it's like a 4th one as well, but this one is like the worst of all of them, and it's on the list for some reason. I don't understand. I really did not think this list would be that bad. I understand this card probably did something in the anime and maybe that's why it's on the list, but it's just so weird because there is 2 other like Venom Fusion Dragons that actually have seen play, that if they were on the list I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, one of them is banned, one of them has been used in the past as a decent super polymerization target, but this one, of all of them, this one, what the heck's going on here? I have no idea. At number 4 we have Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. I'll say this, the card itself is not terrible. This is probably the best card on the entire list. It hasn't seen a ton of competitive play, but it does have a good effect. It's actually a fairly decent Waking the Dragon target. If you guys are looking for more unique cards to play with Waking the Dragon, this card actually is pretty good to summon off of that. Realistically, not a very competitively viable card, but still one of, if not the best cards that I've seen on this entire list, and I can understand why it was included. At number 3 we have FiveHeaded Dragon, and we knew this one was going to be on the list. It was in like the preview at the top. In And this one makes sense. You know, I probably wouldn't have included it in like the top 10 dragon monsters of all time, but this card did see competitive play. FiveHeaded Dragon was insanely powerful with Future Fusion. You could send cards like Light Pulsar Dragon and Eclipse Wyvern to the graveyard to set up your chaos monsters being summoned, while also adding cards to your hand. This thing was maybe not so good for what it did on the field, but it was good because it was a fusion monster that took 5 dragon monsters to summon. I wouldn't say this card is like one of the best dragons ever printed, but I can understand why it was on this list. Don't do this to me. Don't, I swear to... If the last 2 entries in this article are the Winged Dragon of Ra and Slifer the Sky Dragon, I am going to lose my mind. At number 2, the Winged Dragon of Ra. I mean, I've talked about this card so many times. We know it's bad. You guys already have heard me talk about it. I'm not going to mention it anymore. Winged Dragon of Ra is terrible. Even in a casual sort of setting, the card has always been bad. I know people are fans of it. I know it just got a bunch of support. It still is not a very good card. And I'm so fearful of scrolling down to the number 1 entry because I have a really bad feeling it's going to be Slifer. Fuck you. That's going to be it for today's video. I am going to lose my mind because I just can't believe that God cards were number 1 and 2. They're not even dragon type monsters, but it's fine. They say dragon in the name. I understand it. But yeah, I'm really surprised that more old school dragons that actually did see play were not included in this list. It is just insane to me that Chaos Emperor Dragon, which is a card that competitive players know was good, a card that casual players know was good, just a really big iconic dragon monster, and that card was not on this list. That is just mind-blowing. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you want to see more of these article reading videos, and make sure to subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.